Hey guys, it's Crafty Sunday. We're doing a quick craft today. Let me get a little bit closer to the table here. Anyhow, so I am putting patches on my leather notebook. Yes, I know. These aren't cheap. Well, it depends on which ones you get, because you can get these pretty inexpensive. But this is my Paper Republic. It is my favorite, and I wanted to really customize it to my liking. And so I decided to put some patches on it. So we're gonna put the Stay Weird and my little cat on a skull patch on the front of my notebook. So this is the placement that I've decided on. Now you can put patches on. These are iron-on patches. However, you're not gonna iron them onto the leather. You don't wanna do that. You're gonna mess your leather up. You're gonna melt it. It's not gonna work, trust me. So what you wanna do is either you wanna get the patches that already have the glue on the back, like this one. It had glue already on the back, and so I put the patch there. And this one I glued on not very well, honestly. You want to make sure that you are okay with putting patches on that you're going to be okay with it, because once it's on, it's on. It's not going to come off. So just make sure that you are committed to having whatever patch you choose to put on your notebook, that you are committed to keeping that on your notebook. Because if you're not, trust me, it's going to bother you, and when you try to take it off, it's going to ruin the leather underneath. So just keep that in mind. What I use to put these patches on is E6000. And this is E6000 plus, but you can just get the E6000 is perfectly fine. So this is what I use, and I make sure to completely cover the back of the pouch. And then you're gonna put it on to where you want it, and you're gonna hold it for like 2 or 3 minutes for it to kind of stay down, which is what happened here, is that I didn't hold it for long enough. So this little side here is popped up, so I gotta re-glue that. But find the placement that you want, and then you're gonna glue them down. So we're gonna start with the cat. And we're going to pray that my glue works today, because I have had this glue for a while, and sometimes it does not want to cooperate. So let me get something to just get some of this glue, dried glue, out of the way. That's the only problem with these types of glue, is that they get they dry up inside of the piece here, as you can see right there. Whoops, let me see. Right there, you see that? That's dried up glue. So what I do is I get either, this is one of my tools that I use for, I know it's a dental tool, but these are great when you are crafting. So yeah, I have a lot of these. So we've got the glue going. So I'm going to just put a blob in the middle, and then I'm gonna start spreading it out. Me and glue, I swear to God, we do not get along. And there's another spot here that's caught in. Every time I squeeze it, the little flap of what I had. Ooh, all right, now we're talking. Now it's pouring out. So you want to make sure that you get every corner of your pouch covered in that glue. And it's going to be messy, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, so usually what I do is I will get if I poured too much on it, I would just get a stick or something. These come in handy. They're like the skewers that you use for when you are doing the cookout. These things are handy. So I just take that, and here we are. I've got all the glue on. This is where I want it to go, and this is where he's gonna go down. And you can do this on leather jackets. You can do it on your leather bag. There is some excess here, so I'm going to try to scrape that off. Just carefully, because I don't want to have too much going on here, but I'm just going to use my finger because it's easier. And then really what's important when you're putting these down is that you hold the patch down. Now you can also, if you have a sewing machine that can sew through leather, you can sew these on. But my sewing machine, I am not going to try, because I am not going to risk ruining my machine. But if you wanted to try it, alright, so we're going to, now that I've cleaned this off, and I'll probably clean it off some more, but we're going to just let it sit there. And it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to dry, and then you want to kind of let it sit for like 24 hours. And really not touch it, because that will give it to the final like oomph on drying. So we have that, and then we're going to do our other little one here, which I'm not going to put that much glue on this one. Of course, like I said, me and glue just do not get along. All my glue sticks, they never cooperate. I try not to use crazy glue, because I'm going to glue myself down to something. So we're going to put this one up here, because that's where I want it. Make sure that it's kind of straight. And then, again, I'm just going to, if I was on the curve, I would hold it down more, but I'm not. So the cat has little edges that I want to hold down. Like the tail's going down a lot, but the little ear seems to... And then once it kind of dries initially, you are, you can put something on top just to hold it, you know, to press it down a little bit more. But that's it. That will get your patch on there. And like I said, you just have to be committed to whatever patch that you are going to put on your notebook or whatever it is that you are doing. Because again, this is going to be permanent, so it's not going to come off. And what I like to do is I just take, when it dries, I take a little bit of an alcohol swab or Q-tips with alcohol, and I just go around the edges to get rid of the excess glue that's there. But aside from that, you should be fine. And I can still go ahead and condition the leather if I wanted to, because I did condition this when I got it. So you can condition the leather if you need to. Just go around the patches. You know what I mean? But that's it. That's my quick crafty Sunday. If you guys want to see certain crafts, like you want to see how to do a traveler's notebook, or not how to do a traveler's notebook, how to do a junk journaling, or something like that, just let me know. I'll be happy to show you, because it's journaling doesn't have to be writing down stuff. You can also use stuff you have around the house, and you can do a junk journal, and I can show you at some point some examples of that. But yeah, that's that for today. This is it for today. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday and your weekend, And yeah, have a happy one. Stay weird. Bye.